So given how troublesome electric brakes are, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the two brake discs with alcohol. Make sure there's no contamination on there, weakening the braking performance. Wipe them. They seem to be fairly clean. I don't see any contamination. Let's do the same for the rear rotor. The rear disc, let's wipe down the rear disc. It's going to be a little bit tricky. What if I raise the rear? I can hold the alcohol rag here and just spin the wheel with the spokes. The rear rotor is filthy. Make sure you clean the rear rotor. Seems to be some lubricant from the chain all over the rear rotor. New rag and more alcohol. But the rear rotor seems filthy. The front one was pretty clean. So again, I'm supporting that side of the axle on the cardboard, part of the packaging material. And then I'm spinning this wheel, kind of lifting it, rotating it. And I'm able to get the brake disc to rotate. Yeah, look at that. It's filthy. You start braking with all that crud on the disc, you'll contaminate the pads. You'll have weak brakes, and then you have to replace the pads, clean the disc. Yeah, this is terrible. They should clean this from the factory before it goes out. I would say you have to do 4 complete passes on the disc to get all the contamination off. Let's check the axles. It's the other critical part to check. Tight. Axles. How do I check the rear axle? There's some caps here. There we go. Big fat Allen. Is it this one? Too fat. Is it this one? It's this one. So for the rear axle, it's an 8mm Allen. Tight. Okay, so the right pedal was completely loose. Make sure you check your pedals. The left pedal is a little bit loose, not too bad. It's kind of at an odd angle there. So the display is also loose. Let's tighten those down. It's good that these are loose because if something hits the display in shipping, it can just move out of the way. If these were tightened down at the manufacturer, something hits the display in shipping or when you're unboxing it, and you could break it a lot easier. So this is actually smart that they left this loose. I'm okay with that. I don't know about the pedals being loose or anything else, but this can be loose. And I don't know about that brake disc being so filthy. That's terrible, especially with all the brake issues that owners have been having and reporting. Lectric should know better. This connector, you gotta make sure you get this connector on. It has a little plastic guide. Make sure you align it. You can also look at the arrows here and align it with the arrows. I need to check this also. That's tight. The motor axle, tight. Okay, so you don't need the keys at all to start the bike. I remembered that you turn on the battery here. So you tap the battery to turn it on, and then you can turn on the display after you turn the battery on. And it looks like we're good to go. Now I think as it ships, it's limited to 12 miles an hour or something like that. I'll look at unlocking it later, but at this point, take the maiden voyage. Just one last thing, I'm gonna check the tire pressure. Make sure pedal assist is on 0 here. And the chain. Is the chain good tension? Yeah, it's pretty tight. Oh, I better put the parking brake back on. It's rolling downhill. So the chain has good tension, and it also has this nice chain guide right here. That's really sweet. So you can adjust this chain guide to increase the chain tension as the chain wears. The other thing I think I'm going to like about this bike is that it's a single speed. Not messing with gears is lovely. And with an electric motor, who needs gears really? Especially on something slower like this. So let's see, inflate to 36 psi. The sidewall calls for 36 psi. The instructions say look at the sidewall. I think it's way below 36 psi. Yeah, so it's shipped at 20 psi it looks like. Okay, it's 36. Yeah, the rears were just over 20. Yeah, so check your tires. They, at least in my case, they shipped way underinflated. All right, let's take this beauty for a quick spin around the block.